everyone, this is Ginny from Homestead Corner, and one of my dear friends has gifted me with a half bushel of these key limes. So today we're going to make some limeade concentrate for the pantry. Alright, so to get started with this, all we're going to do is we want to make sure these limes are really good. I'm not going to peel these. We're going to cut them in half and throw them right in the juicer. So I want to make sure my skins are nice and clean. So I'm going to soak them in, I've got just some room temperature water, and I'm going to put a little bit of white vinegar in here, just a little splash, a tablespoon or so, and just to make sure there's nothing on the outside of these and they get nice and clean. And we're just going to give them a quick little bath before we get started. So once we let these soak for about 10 minutes, then I just give them a really good rinse to get that vinegar off. That helps, the vinegar helps take everything off your limes. And then I'm going to go super simple with this and just start slicing my limes in half and getting them ready to throw in the juicer. I'm just going to use a juicer for this. We have an electric one. I really like it. I'm not going to peel these. You can peel them. You could do this a bunch of different ways, but this makes it nice and easy, and it's done in short order this way. So I'm just going to cut them in half and pop them in the juicer. So while I'm juicing these, I'm keeping a 4-cup measuring cup. You can use any size. This is just the easiest for me. I have a 4-cup measuring cup here, and I'm just going to keep track of how much juice I have, because that's going to determine how much water and sugar that I'm going to use. So as I collect my juice, I'm just putting it in a measuring cup, and then once I have 4 cups, I will put it into a pot. But we're just going to keep going, and I will bring you back once we're done juicing. Okay, so we are done juicing, and I've got 3.5 quarts of lime juice here from the juicer. So to make this concentrate, I'm going to add 3.5 quarts, an equal amount of water to this. And that will give me a nice concentrate to can up. And I had to use a big old 23-quart canner because I ain't got no pots big enough for once you double it. And I'm also going to add in 3 quarts of sugar. And we want to bring this up to a boil once we have got it. So I've got it turned up. I'm going to get this baby cranking. We're going to start adding our sugar. And we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then it'll be ready for the jars. So while we're heating up our concentrate, I just wanted to show you this is the pulp that comes out of the juicer. This is really quite dry. I'm going to sift through this and pull out these chunky pieces, and all this powdery stuff, I dehydrate this, and it makes a wonderful lime powder for if you don't have lime juice. This works perfectly. So I'm just going to sift through this and toss it in the dehydrator. It usually only takes a couple of hours because this stuff is pretty dry. And then I just throw it in the food processor and blend it so it's a nice even powder. But these tiny little pieces are perfect for dehydrating. Also, while we're heating up our concentrate, I'm also heating up my jars in the water bath canner so they're nice and sterilized. We want to let these boil for about 10 minutes so we know they're really good. Okay, so once we have everything nice and steamy hot and boiling, I'm going to I take 2 jars at a time out. This is just how I do it when I'm water bath canning. Ooh, those are hot. And these have been boiling for 10 minutes so they're nice and sterilized. My juice came up to a rolling boil, my concentrate, and we're just going to start filling jars. And this is so high in lemon, and oh my goodness, it is so good for you. I love limes and I love limeade. So I've made, we make lemonade concentrate also, and I don't do this limeade very often because limes are just so expensive. But my dear friend called me and asked me, because she knows I love limes, and she asked me if I wanted a lot of limes, and I said, oh yes, yes, please and thank you. So I'm just going to leave one, bring it up to this glass rim, and we're going to leave 1 inch headspace here. And I'm going to fill 2 jars at a time. And I am going to wipe my rims. I'm going to pull that off with a little bit of just plain old white vinegar. I like to use that on my rims, so I know I'm going to get a nice, good seal. Oh my goodness. Hot, hot. Definitely watch your fingers on these babies. Everything is boiling hot. So once we have got those cleaned, I'm going to add my lids. I like to heat my lids up because that's the way I was taught and it works for me. Ball says you don't have to do it anymore with their new lids, so totally your choice. Any way that works for you. And then I'm just going to put my rings on. Finger tight. And these are ready to pop back in the canner, and I'm going to keep filling jars. We've got our first 7 jars filled. We're going to turn this up on high and get this cranking. Once it comes to a full rolling boil, I'm going to process this for 10 minutes. And you want to make sure when you're water bath canning that you have about 1 inch over the top of your jars. And this way you're sure it's not going to boil out. You don't want those jars exposed while you're canning. So we just pulled our 16 pints out of the canner. They are all canned. We're just going to let them cool down, and I will label them and clean them up and get them all ready for the pantry in the morning. I just let them stay on the counter so they seal well and there's no interruptions to them. And I always put them on a towel because the hot jar on the cold counter can crack your jars and you don't want to lose any. You've worked really hard for these. So to mix this up and get it ready to drink, I just use half-gallon jugs, or if you have a gallon jug, that works. And I use a 1/4 cup to a cup, depending on how strong I want it. And you can, when you're making the concentrate, you can totally adjust the sugars and get them to the right level where you like them, if you like it sweeter or if you like it more tart. That's the wonderful thing about this. You can make it exactly how you like it. And that's it. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.